Born and raised in New York, he preached for violent Jewish self-defense. He emigrated to Israel and was elected to the Israeli parliament, where he called for the expulsion of all Arabs from the Holy Land. His racist views were so extreme that his party was outlawed, and in 1994, Kahani's party was declared a terrorist organization. But today, his ideas remain strong. Kahanist ideology has been adopted by several splinter groups. A small percentage of the Israeli population, several thousand strong, they are united by religious zealotry and ultranationalism. They oppose Israeli democracy and any peaceful dealings with the Palestinians.
If we want to understand Rabbi Kahana, his message was that we need to go to war because, in fact, what will bring our redemption is not prayer. What will bring redemption is war. But today we're going in exactly the opposite direction. Instead of war, there's peace now. There's an attempt to prevent war at all costs. And if we can force the army to go back to being offensive, an army of revenge, an army which cares about Jews more than anybody else, then we'll be able to bring the final redemption in the only way possible, through war. War now.
אנחנו מאמינים שיהודים צריכים לחיות בארץ ישראל. זה עניין של קידוש השם מול חילול השם. וזה רק עניין של זמן עד שהמלחמה בעזרת השם תתחיל, והיא תתחיל מאיתנו, ואז בסופו של דבר בעזרת השם נזכה גם לרשת את הארץ וגם להוריש את היושבים בה.
The hilltop settlers see themselves as the authentic Jews, true to their own interpretation of the Bible.
We're returning to the way it was before. We want it to be like it was before the diaspora, as this land was before the destruction of the Holy Temple. Back then, our people lived naturally in our own land, with the God's presence among us. And it was natural this was living. We're following our hearts. What we should be doing is all written in the Bible. We just read it in our weekly Torah portion. Expel the Arabs, kick them out.
Disputes between the radical settlers and their Palestinian neighbors are constant. In this case, a shot fired at the settlers provokes an instant response against the next Palestinian on the road. The Israeli army has to intervene. The radical settlers have weapons and military training. They believe that if they could do things their way, everything would be different. Unlike most settlers who accept the reality of living next to the Palestinians, the radicals claim an exclusive right to the land and everything that grows here. It's a message they're getting across to their neighbors, the Palestinian farmers, often with violence.
There are certain conditions, according to Jewish law, under which non-Jews may live here. This doesn't apply to the Arabs. They don't fit the category. They have to get the hell out. Whoever leaves under his own steam will save his own life. Whoever doesn't will have to pay the price. This is the land of Israel.
Built entirely by the people who live there, Bat Ain had started as an unauthorized settlement and has since grown into a community of over 50 families. Unlike most settlements, everything is done by Jewish labor. They do not allow Arabs here. They say this is how it should be in the Kingdom of Israel.
I envision the whole people of Israel living on the land, within its true borders, which include much more than we have. Both sides of the Jordan, parts of Lebanon, parts of the Sinai. A kingdom would be unlike this rotten democracy. A king would be loyal to one thing, to what God tells him, to what is written in the Torah.
We should live here according to the Torah. First and foremost, the laws of the Torah.
The people of Bat Ain live in enmity with their Palestinian neighbors who don't dare come near. While other settlements are fenced in, the people here prefer a different approach: deterrence.
The Arab knows that when a Jew fences himself in, the rest of the land is his. We want to prevent that. He puts his plow next to the Jew's fence and starts plowing all the way to his village, and that's unacceptable. If I don't have a fence, it confuses him. Our fence, in fact, goes as far as an M16 can reach. The range of an M16 bullet is our fence.
If they shot a few rounds at you, you go to their village and shoot a few more. These were simple reactions. If they damaged an orchard, you damaged 10. 2 eyes for an eye, teeth for a tooth. And then there was an escalation to where I crossed all the red lines. From a desire to scare the Arabs off, you get to attempted murder. All the way. Big time.
In Bat Ain, a plan began to take shape in the spring of 2002, which would come to shock the entire nation.
It was my idea. It started as my idea.
I supplied the explosives.
I'm an explosives expert.
Someone got a trailer from somewhere.
The wagon belonged to the Jewish settlement in Hebron. It contained 200 liters of gasoline.
Something like that. This is the trailer. A propane tank, a barrel. A propane tank and a barrel. An explosive charge attached to the propane tank. Another charge was attached to this barrel. And the fuses come out to a clock that was placed here, attached to the barrel.
We set the clock for 7:30 a.m.
This was the intended target, an Arab girls' school in East Jerusalem. The huge bomb was meant to go off at the entrance at the busiest time of the morning, as the children were arriving at school.
This street is usually full of people. A place which is next to a school, between a school and a hospital.
Whoever gets hurt, gets hurt. Just like they do.
Although the Kahanist party was outlawed, his followers remain active spreading his ideology. Another American-born leader of the group is Mike Guzovsky.
I'll tell you what I told the security service. They asked me to stop the guys here from encouraging acts of revenge against Arabs. So I said, all right. Not because philosophically, or ideologically, or religiously, or practically, that is not possible, or it shouldn't be done. But simply because you hear every word we say. Big Brother is watching from every direction, so we won't succeed. They said only because tactically you won't pull it off, because we'll hear you, because we'll stop you. I said yes, that's the only reason. I believe the day will come when secret services and the government will want Jews who are willing to risk their lives and go into Arab villages and kick them out, kill them.
They are dedicated to a country without Arabs and without democracy. They see themselves at war with secular Israeli society. They believe they are acting out God's will.